It's the Takeover. It's the Takeover right here on the award-winning CBJ Radio. We're always bringing you the coolest artists on Wednesday nights, and tonight's no different. California singer-songwriter John Trescott Luis. He spent 40 years working for ABC. He retired. He built a home studio, and in 2019, he started recording his own music, and he hasn't stopped. His last couple singles were more country, but his brand new single, The Big Show, it's a rocker. We're excited to have John Trescott Luis back on the show. First, John, thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Awesome. Man, we're going to talk about the song here in a few minutes. But first, congrats. The hard work is paying off. Your last release, Can't Stay Here, hit 100,000 streams on Spotify.
Finally. Yeah. It's been a couple of years, and that was a pretty big, exciting milestone. So I have to thank all my fans and my insiders group and all for making that happen.
Yeah. So you probably made like $3.
I made maybe $3.20, I'll have you know.
Well, Can't Stay Here, the one that hit 100,000 streams, it was kind of a country rocker. The next couple songs are rock songs. I think maybe because you were in TV for 40 years and you saw 18 million shows, you just can't pick a music genre. What is it, John?
Yeah, that's for sure. So, grew up with rock because the really country in California wasn't happening until fairly recently in a big way. So we weren't exposed to it. So all we really heard was whatever rock and roll was being played on the local FM stations starting the 70s through the 80s and 90s and 2000s. And so that's all we had. And so we, us folks out here, didn't really have any idea that there was country out there. Once I heard it, I went, oh my gosh, the storytelling got so good. Rock kind of slowed down overall, and country took off, and just heard great songs and was thinking, wow, I want to write great songs like that. So that's kind of what I ended up going toward for a while, because I just write songs, and sometimes they come out in a particular genre, perhaps whatever you're listening to at the time. Hard to know, but...
Yeah, well, and I think when you're younger, we're more towards the rock vein. You were a Van Halen fan, but I mean, you're still going to rock shows. I think when we get older, the storytelling comes in, and yeah, it's a little more of a country vibe. But
going over, after a few decades of living, you end up kind of reflecting on some of there's always good old days and good old times. And back when you were seeing concerts for, $5 and things like that. And so when you look to see what things are now, and some of your heroes are coming back around, you get to see them again. And then some aren't, and some are like going away, and you have to like grab it when you can. And when you do, and it's great, it's so exciting. And you remember, this is why I loved rock. This is why going to a concert in an arena is so amazing. When it's one of those magical shows, that's why everybody buys the t-shirt.
Exactly. When it's the big show. You had an interesting start, though, to your solo career. When you first started writing music, you were working with other artists. You worked with Sean Jones, Lee, Amanda, Dick Wells. You were collaborating because you didn't know if you wanted to sing the songs. It was finally Stuck that got you there. But what changed?
Yeah, at some point, you either kind of have to put up or shut up, as they say. I had written a couple, the country tunes, some of the earlier ones, one specifically Stuck, and one called Misunderstandings. I thought, well, how am I going to show somebody else how to sing this song with attitude, the right attitude? So as you know, now I have a great band in Nashville, and I go there and I'm working with the greatest engineer producer there. And he pretty much is my mixer, my engineer, and I kind of take care of the rest of the stuff. He's working, without me spilling the beans too much, he's working with the biggest name in the business right now continually. So that should kind of tell you who his mainstay is.
Wow.
And just because we're friends, I got to work with him. And I'm always talking to him about what I should do with this. And he said, you just need to sing it and get out there. So we recorded the song on Tuesday, and Wednesday he said, well, we'll just sing the song. So I went in there to do it. We spent 13 hours singing 5 songs. And it was so nice of him to stay up that late. And at the end of all that, he said, okay, now you're getting really good. We're going to go back and sing the first 2 songs again. So that was my education into singing in Nashville and how to really do it, how to belt it out. And just, you get your confidence, when people are encouraging. And so it really happened for me. I think you can hear it on Stuck, even though it's maybe not the greatest vocal in the world. it does fit the song, and that's really all that matters.
Well, and your collaboration with Lee, what is it, Lee Krabby?
It's Lee Krabby, right?
I think this was your last one, right, with Already Gone?
Already Gone. So that's our most recent. He also sang backup on The Big Show and several other of my tunes. We're very close friends. He's a worship leader. We often play together in church and sing together. And we also are very good friends where we go over each other's houses and we listen to the songs. And I produced a lot of records that he was on back in the 90s before I was writing myself. And so we're very close. He just happens to be a phenomenal singer. He sang the first one was called Time Slips Away, that was written for my daughter's wedding, which happens to be, if you have young children, anyone out there, one of the best songs in the world to get a screaming baby to be quiet, to settle down. You play that, they immediately stop crying. I don't know why, but try it, I guarantee it. So anyway, Lee sang in a couple of those songs for me because, I was very insecure about doing a ballad that took serious, quality breath control and that kind of thing. He's really the guy for that. But, now I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah. Go check John out. He's at musicbyjtl.com. He's on Facebook. Go to YouTube. Check out all of his stuff. His latest single, The Big Show, is out now. Did you move, John? Where are you living now? Are you still in the valley? This lakefront property looks pretty nice.
We're still in Simi Valley, California, which is part of Ventura. It's right next to the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles area. So that's hot and warm and everything. And when it rains, I think I may have mentioned this last time, every time it rains, which of course this year it's doing, but it hasn't done for the last, I don't know how many years. I live across the street from kind of an open park area. And whenever it rains a lot, that turns into a lake. And the water doesn't go anywhere because it's all clay here. And so I get lakefront property.
Okay,
and that's pretty
that's
awesome.
what it was. I thought you actually had lakefront property, but it's the rain.
But I have pictures that made it, make it look like I do. So.
That's hilarious. I mean, the rain wreaked havoc on you this winter.
It did, boy. Good memory. It's the kind of thing where it comes through the roof no matter what you do. And you're sitting here and you find in the living room, you better put a lot of tarps up, and the studio got flooded and had to rebuild all that. This is the stuff that happens.
Yeah.
To get some rain, it might be worth it. We need it so badly.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's good and bad. Well, you played a winery in March. Have you been playing more live shows?
Yeah, I'm trying to do places that'll, have me, and wherever we can. We're going to Texas in a couple weeks, and we're hoping to, the current plan is to play a few places there. It happens to be during the eclipse of all crazy things. So while we're there, which happens to be going right through Dallas area, we're going to go outside and look at that. Not directly, but indirectly.
Yeah.
And find some places to play while we're out there. But yeah, it's really trying to do a lot more live to just get that stuff out there, bring more of a local following instead of just the internet and Spotify worldwide kind of stuff.
Yeah. Have you seen an eclipse before?
Yes, I have. Actually, a couple times. In my memory is a couple times, but my wife reminds me that very likely it was not necessarily it could have been a lunar eclipse, could have been a partial solar, who knows? But I just remember it happening.
Yeah.
How about you?
It's amazing. I saw the one back in 2017, came through Wyoming, and it was very impressive because we were in the heart of it. But this one that's coming up here in a couple of weeks is 4 minutes long, I guess, or it's huge.
Yeah. Full on thing with you got to wear the special glasses, and the internet says don't be careful, don't buy the cheap glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Get some good ones, and it depends on where you are. They might even give you some, so that'll be cool.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
We were thinking about it, but it's such chaos, and even in Wyoming there was 500,000 people that showed up, so I can only imagine how many crazies are going to be in Texas. No kidding.
No, that I didn't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's not the best time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the shelves were cleaned out. Everyone was getting gas. I was like, why are you freaking out? This is 2-minute long eclipse, and they're doing the same thing.
Right.
It's nothing's going to happen. Don't worry. It's kind of freaky for a minute, but then everything is fine.
Yeah, I hear the birds stop making any noise, and the crickets start coming out in the middle of the day.
Yeah, it was. We were on the Casper Mountain, so we were up in the mountains at this Girl Scout camp, and there was horses next to us, and yeah, they were like freaking out because it starts, it's like dusk or something. It starts getting dark, and it's weird. All the animals are like, "What's going on? It's not supposed to be nighttime." But it only lasts a couple of minutes. It's pretty crazy. But
sorry, I took you way off the music here.
That's all right. Go check him out. It's musicbyjtl.com. He's on Facebook. His latest single, The Big Show, is out now. Well, you went and saw Steely Dan and the Eagles in January. How was that?
It was I think it was the perfect show.
Yeah, that's a great combo.
Yeah, it was pretty spectacular. I mean, Steely Dan opening for the Eagles. I mean, it seemed weird. It's like saying the Eagles opening for Steely Dan. To me, Steely Dan is my favorite band, but that concert was probably the best one I've ever seen. It was almost too perfect. It makes you wonder, can they really do that well live? But they seem to. And I dug it. And if you actually go and watch my video of The Big Show on YouTube, I won't tell you where we got it, but a lot of the footage on that is live for things that I took.
Well, that's what
I actually shot.
If the crowd was from that show or what?
Not the sound, but a little bit of sound too. Yeah, you might say that, but not necessarily for that show because, of course, I could never use something for that show.
No.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But there's some pretty cool stuff on there.
Yeah. Well, tell me about your kids, John, because when I was watching some of your shorts on YouTube, I can hear your son. He's like, Dad. So you at least got one son.
Yeah, I have a son and a daughter, and my son is kind of a little bit of a YouTube sensation himself in the area of gaming. He is quite the gamer under the term Mist Blue, BLUU, and he is pretty popular on that while being a registered nurse and emergency room trauma nurse. Yeah, he's kind of multi-talented. But you have that, I'm into my daughter, and then of course we've got grandchildren coming with a third one coming in August. So that's about the most fun you can ever have when the grandchildren that are 1 and 2 years old are hearing your song on the radio or on a playback, and they start dancing. They start saying, it's Grandpa, it's Grandpa. Of all crazy things.
Yeah, that's a trip. Wow.
I did not predict that would happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do your kids got to think with you doing this now?
I think that they seem to be having a pretty good time with it. So they use it, they have a lot of fun with it, share it with their friends and all. So we've done a lot of crazy things, did a little short video, short film, did the soundtrack for that. So I've done a lot of things in a fairly short amount of time. Thank goodness that all worked out so well. So it's I'm well involved with their lives because that's some of the projects that they're doing as well. The Big Show is the next thing in the line of music that now kind of changes my vibe a little bit. And the persona that I currently have on Spotify and YouTube and out there as being more of a country person, certainly with country ballads and country type rock. And now this goes back to my roots a little with, this is pretty, this is arena rock practically.
Well, let's talk about The Big Show.
Yeah.
First, who's doing your lyric videos? Are you doing these?
I did that myself. It's just tough to find people that will do it the way you want.
Yeah.
For us people that are perfectionists.
Yeah.
So I just did it myself.
But I mean, the lyric video, you did a great job because even the guitar, everything, I mean, it fits perfect. It's almost like that's you at the concert.
That was absolutely by design. I lucked out that fortunately I know how to do this, but to find videos that you did or of other people that fit in to a song's tempo and beat and make it exciting and still don't show the other members of the band is pretty hard to find. So this was really deliberate on how to create a vibe of a really exciting live show, arena rock type concert with unforgettable melodies and performances for a cheering crowd kind of thing, and yet not show the band.
Exactly, and make
so
it
you
work.
Don't see me there because I wanted the ability for people to just have it in their mind. Who is this? What is The Big Show? It could be anything from a Home Depot opening to a mega church to a rock concert to a restaurant that has a line down the block. It could be whatever that people seem to get really excited about and want to show up there en masse and then go in, and there's this big thing that happens. And my whole goal is the song deliver a big impact? Like when you put a title like The Big Show, it better be big.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a throwback to every great rock band that I've ever known and heard.
You crushed it. I listened to the song, and I don't know. I mean, I'm religious, so I hear the water and wine, so I kind of get like a religious vibe. But then when you listen to the lyrics, you said it when you said this could be for a Home Depot opening, it could be for a big church opening, it could be for a band opening. I mean, it fits all of it. I don't know. What was your thoughts when you first started? Was that it?
It was all of those things, but remember, there was no video, there was no electric guitars, it was just me on an acoustic guitar, which is an interesting way to write something that's going to be what I knew from the beginning. I wanted it huge.
Yeah.
And have that almost the Who kind of that downbeat of the chorus of here we are at the big show, and it's a big guitar. You can see the guy, throwing his arm up in the air, and as well as what I did in the video, it really does capture that. But yeah, it was honestly, it was very similar to what you're saying. We were going to a place in Washington. We were going through this forested area and all the way through the trees, and all of a sudden, I think I see this thing that's coming, and you can hear the crowd cheering. And we get there, and it is The Big Show, very much like you're suggesting. And it was giant, and there was a big line, and there was all the greeters. And then the lights turned down low, and then the lights came up, and then everything was starting to happen. And then the great one would say his part, and The Big Show was now born. And then it would take you away, but you won't go very far. If you can come as you are. And that explains or doesn't explain everything.
Yeah.
But I think you're very close to what the original concept of it was.
Well, and I even thought, the come to see all the wonders, turning water into wine. I thought, bands, when you become such a huge music fan like we are, it is a religion.
Absolutely. Especially arena rock where, it's the first time you saw Queen doing We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
Whether you like the song or not, the arena was doing it. And you can't help but be moved by that, dramatically so. Goosebumps on the arms, the hair standing a little on end, and looking at other people, and everybody's in the same vibe at the same moment. There's nothing like that. And that's kind of what this felt like to me. As a matter of fact, some places, even churches now, there are churches that are basically rock concerts with a message.
Oh yeah,
I like both. I don't mind. I didn't grow up in the church, so this is something fairly new to me, and I just thought it was amazing.
Go and watch the lyric video for The Big Show. Go to musicbyjtl.com or go to YouTube. Type in John Trescott Luis. It's Luis, The Big Show, and it'll come up, and go check it out. So what's coming next, John? I heard maybe some rock ballads. What's happening?
Oh, good question. Yeah. So last time I went to Nashville, I recorded 12 songs in 2 days. I lucked out because, like I said, I got a great band. I'm really lucky. It was probably harder on me than it was on them. Because you can imagine, you have to sing it about 3 times with them. And then you go back later and you sing it about 6 or 7 more times each. So times 12. It was quite a week. We did a few of the songs that you're hearing now. Certainly we did The Big Show. And then we have about 6 or 7 more songs that are ready to go. And they are in the rock vein for right now. So I did country. Now I'm switching to The Big Show. It's clearly rock. The next one is very much like a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon rock song. It's really in that, for lack of a better explanation. And then a very sad English type ballad. And then another big rocker, a very Springsteen-ish. Didn't mean to, you got 50 years of music behind you. You just hold that all in and love all that stuff. And then when you finally start writing, it comes screaming out. Wow. And you just got to go where it takes you.
Go and check him out. Go and follow him. Keep your eyes on him, because a lot more coming. And I like it how it's kind of full circle, because your first song was a prog rock song. Now
Yeah.
we're getting into Pink Floyd territory. Watch out. I mean,
Yeah, one of my favorites.
they can't see you, John, but I'm looking at you on Zoom. You're in your home studio. Do you like going to Nashville and doing it there with them? I mean, you could do your vocals and stuff right there.
And in fact, I do. I do, but there's something about having the greatest engineer in the world, or one of them certainly, on the other side of the window, coaching you on what he heard you do,
Yeah.
and knowing that before and after you, so the greatest acts in the world are in that room, and that helps you kind of get a lift, and it brings energy to things that it's a little harder to do in your home studio unless you can imagine it all.
Yeah.
But I still do. I just finished a song a couple days ago that is in a completely different vein, completely different. We were talking about Steely Dan a little while ago, and they are, other than Jimi Hendrix, they're my favorite band. I just wrote a completely Steely Dan tinged tune, which is about as far from what I've got on here right now. And you're going to hear it and you would go, oh my gosh, that does sound like them. I hope it does anyway for other people. In my mind, it does. So yeah, it's just you take the song where it goes, and sometimes that does not include you singing it, and maybe it doesn't have you playing the guitar. What's best for the song, That's the secret, and that's the wonderful experience of it all.
Yeah. Will we see more collaborations down the road?
Yeah, for sure. I tend to write with other people fairly often, but I just thought I'd do these things for myself just for a little while so I could find out who I am and, break that out a little bit more.
Yeah. I think you confused us even more, John.
Sorry. I had a PR firm a couple of years ago just to try that out. And they said, okay, here's what you are. Yeah, I said, well, who do you think I am? Here's what you are. You are a rock romantic, old school rock romantic.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, wow. Yeah. Because if you look at rock from the, 70s or maybe 80s or 90s, it's completely changed. It starts out as one thing, and then all of a sudden it has Journey and Queen doing high-pitched operatic kind of songs. And that's the same stuff we did in the 70s and 80s. I just think it is what it is. I'm just going to do it, and hopefully people get a kick out of it.
And they are, and he's got 100,000 streams. He's going to hit 1 million on The Big Show. Go and check him out. Music by JTL. Go to YouTube, watch the lyric video for The Big Show, and much more to come from John Trescott Luis. John, it's always a pleasure talking to you, buddy.
Take care, Jeff. It's great talking to you.
Here's The Big Show. It's a takeover. CBJRadio.com.